Throughout history, African Americans have served proudly in every great American war. Over 200,000 African American servicemen fought bravely throughout the Civil War. In 1866, a legislation was adopted by Congress, which created 6 all-African American Army units. Units were known as the 9th and 10th Cavalry and the 30th, 39th, 40th, and 41st Infantry Regiments. Black soldiers enlisted for 5 years received $13 a month, much more than they could earn in their civilian lives. The 10th Cavalry was formed at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, and recruited soldiers from northern states. Many officers, including George Armstrong Custer, refused to command black regiments and accepted a lower rank rather than do so. The black regiments could only serve west of the Mississippi River because of the most prominent attitude following the Civil War. The name Buffalo Soldiers has become an interesting lore in itself. There seem to be 3 possible reasons for the name. 1. It is said that the curly hair of the soldiers reminded them of buffalo. 2. They were given the name because their fierce, brave nature reminded them of the way the buffaloes fought. 3rd, it may have been because they wore thick coats made from buffalo hide during the winter. Whatever the reason, the term was used respectfully and with honor. The 9th Cavalry was one of the original 6 regiments of the regular U.S. Army set aside for black enlisted men. Colonel Edward Hatch was chosen to command the 9th Cavalry. He recruited soldiers from the South and set up his headquarters in Greenville, Louisiana. The African American troops were led by white officers. Moving west from Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, within a year after its activation in 1866, the 10th began its march into immortality. The spring of 1877 marked the beginning of more than 2 decades of continuous service. Locations like the Great Plains and in the mountains and deserts of New Mexico and Arizona. The challenge was a formidable one. 10 years of near constant campaigning were required before conflicts with numerous Indian nations subsided. 5 years would pass before there was peace along the tormented Rio Grande frontier, where bands of Indians, outlaws, Mexican bandits, and revolutionaries roamed, raided, stole, and murdered under conditions nearing total chaos. Colonel Benjamin Grierson was chosen to command the 10th Cavalry. In 1917, the 92nd Division was formed with African American selective servicemen. One of the regiments in the division, the 366th Infantry Regiment, was made up of men from Alabama and had the distinction of being the first all-black fighting unit to be commanded by black officers. Up until this point in time, black units had been commanded by white officers. With their legacy, determination, and selfless acts of bravery, the Buffalo Soldiers paved a path of equality and respect for generations to come. Their efforts and legacy lives on in all African American servicemen and women who are able to fight for this country without discrimination and mistreatment because of their ancestors.